Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. That is beyond.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
Yes, hello world, huh? I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to the Smash Factor for the BMW Championship, week 45 of the 2020-2021 PGA season, week 2 of the FedEx Cup playoffs, and hopefully minus the rain delay, full day delay to Monday, hopefully we get just as good of a tournament and finish this week. The top 70 in the FedEx Cup standings advanced to this week. It is a no-cut event. As I mentioned, or as we saw, I guess it was during the fourth round, the news came out about Patrick Reed being in the hospital with pneumonia. Hopefully he is, doing well and gets back soon. So it'll be 69 guys with some questionable guys in there as well that we'll have to keep an eye on. Obviously, this is a Tuesday morning as pricing came out this morning, got the rankings out. It'll be a nonstop, call it 36 hours of content to get stuff out and cuss and discuss with you guys in the Slack and get locked in for Thursday morning. We'll get to the field and questionable guys here in a second. Reminder, use the code NFL. Gets you 25% off any package and includes a 7-day free trial. If you don't like us in 7 days, you can cancel at any time. You'll never see a charge. Spent a lot of time yesterday since we were waiting on the golf to end, working on finalizing the Green Machine update, which will be, it's going to be so awesome with the optimization for college football and NFL and everything else we already do, golf and everything, NASCAR, UFC, and then finalizing the NFL tools as well that we're going to have full package for NFL tools, golf tools and stuff. So really looking forward to that. I will be doing tutorial videos on that stuff this week, hopefully this week, late this week, and then into next week. Next week's kind of a no NFL, no preseason, a 30-man golf field, only so much you can talk about there. So I have a lot of time to get those out. And then if you're a current member, you can upgrade, DM me on Twitter or the GC Warrior Room Slack channel, and I will get you your loyalty code. Anybody that signs up between August 1st and Monday Night Football, week 1, September 13th, or upgrades, we'll be tossing to a drawing. We'll be doing some giveaways for that. We'll also be doing giveaways that week, throughout the week leading up to kickoff, on anybody that has rate and review us on iTunes. Just go real quick. If you don't remember if you've done it, if it's been too long, it takes half a minute to rate, review us, and I'll get you thrown into that drawing. And also another way to get in is to subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that like button for me. And in the comment section, I'll do some giveaways on Wednesday, but if you subscribe to us on YouTube, I'll have some drawings for that week 1 NFL. But like this video and leave a comment and tell me your favorite fade in the 9K range. Pretty juicy range this week. And I'll be doing some stuff Wednesday. Well, I guess it's tomorrow. I still feel like it's Monday in my head because you're doing all the golf prep. Listener League, this is the final one this week to get into the Tournament of Champions next week. Last week's winner was Cornhusker 55. He had Rom, Casey, Finau, M, Tringali, and Griffin. Solid lineup with Rom and Finau. Obviously, Finau making a charge there late on Sunday, which was just awesome to see. 300 this week with a small turnaround, with basically locking tomorrow night, Thursday morning. So hop in now. 3 max per usual, 500 to first, limited rake, and flat payout structures. It was a great tournament. Really was hard to see Rom losing, as not going into round 4. I thought there was some guys that were live there just because we didn't know about the conditions, the weather, anything could, that course, as we saw, as much as birdies as could be had, a double, triple was not out of the question for anybody. you know, a lot of guys had great rounds going and they would triple 18 or whatever. So anytime you have that, you know, as great as Ron was playing, you know, you kind of felt maybe someone to make a move. JT was there. Brooks was the one I took live after round 3. He didn't play well per se, but after round 1, I did take Finau. Kind of regretted not taking him pre-tournament as I was looking through the data Thursday evening, getting stuff ready for showstoppers. And I was like, man, I really like Finau and Hovland. Those were the 2 I liked at pretty good numbers still. I think Finau was 30 and Hovland was 35. Had those amazing rounds by JT and Rahm round 1, which allowed for those numbers to still kind of hang around there. And we know Finau had been, you know, not as sharp as of late. And so to see him come out and post a -4, but still getting respect in the betting world because Rahm and JT had posted such large numbers and they were, you know, favorites to be, or, you know, up there to begin with. Rahm was a favorite. Felt like taking a stab on Finau and Hovland, you know, and sitting there going into round 4, we had Cantley was kind of up there. JT was up there. And then we had the ads with Hovland and Finau. So I felt okay, but I really, as you got the whole 9 or so, I thought, man, I don't know if Rahm's I don't see him losing this. And not only backing up, I wouldn't really know if Finau was going to be able to make that kind of charge. Obviously, he shot an amazing back 9, some clutch shots, you know, a couple breaks there, but you're going to have that big putt on 18 to save the par after going in the bunker after 2. Then you know, Cam Smith kind of, you know, just blast one right in the playoff that gives it to Finau. Did a small hedge and slack on when the playoff happened because you had -106 on both, so gave away a little bit of the profit there, but I didn't hedge full or nothing like that. I think it was 19% is what it kind of came out to at the end of the day, but so I'm just happy with the winner. You know, it's been a little while. You know, I wouldn't say getting down on myself, but I guess when I was updating the sheet yesterday, it kind of reminded me that, you know, pretty good, you know, actually best season I've ever had as far as outrights and first round leaders. And that was my 13th outright. It'd just been so long that it didn't feel like it was as good of a season as we've had. We still got 2 more weeks left, but we had that run there, you know, of 4 or 5 winners within, I don't know, I think it was a 2-month span or something that really felt good. And it'd been a while. Like Spieth, we had the first round leader of Spieth, that's Charles Schwab, and then Rory at Wells Fargo was the last winner and first round leader. So been a little while, got a little of that back. Wish they had the full ticket on full round or full tournament on Finau, but I'll take the 30-1 hit anytime. You know, DFS wise, you know, another just so week for me. Had a lot of good pieces, but you know, the Burger deal, I don't think it really came back to haunt, but that was kind of brutal to see him chip in on 18 to make the cut. Didn't do much on the weekend. I kind of thought he would. We've seen that before recently where one of the highest owned guys makes the cut on the number and then just goes really low. Answer did a while back. Goes really low on the weekend and really pays off because the 6 of 6s jumped, you know, pretty decently with Berger jumping in there, holding out or chipping in, however you want to say it, on 18. You know, I didn't have any Rahm. I wound up not going with Rahm. Spieth I had some runners there on Monday, I guess it'd be. Spieth's round kind of hurt. That was you know, he wound up finishing or close to last with, I don't even know what he shot. Last I saw, he was like 8 over. But I feel good about this week. I think we're going to have a solid week. It's more about strategy than the, you know, kind of like that. It's more about the X's and O's and the Jimmies and the Joes this week. But, being that it's a 70-man no-cut field, we are at a new course, Caves Valley. I'm sure Kenny Kim will have his full breakdown on his pod as well as on the website, and he'll update for the premium members tomorrow afternoon. It's in Maryland, par 72, 7,542 yards, which is pretty long by tour standards. It's a Fazio design renovated by his son in 2020. Complete bunker renovation to divert water. Championship tees were added, and the fairway landing zone were narrowed to 25 yards. 5 holes bring water into play. Smallish bent grass greens. 2 to 3 shortish par 4s, potentially drivable. Par 3s are long, and a couple have water trouble around them. 4 par 5s. long hitters will have their chance to get there in 2. Most of them, I think they can get there in 2. Bent grass fairways and greens, obviously I said that. Fescue, ryegrass, bluegrass mix in the rough. Supposed to be up for the week. That's kind of what you've heard if you've gone through, looking at the Twitter world or Googling. And I went by the website, had a flyover or hole by hole type deal. So reviewed that. A lot of it, I think Bombers is definitely going to be a popular trend this week. It looks that way. And we'll see some pictures coming out today and tomorrow. The rough will be a key. How thick is it? How penalizing is it? But even if not, there's some of those dog legs and stuff that the long hitters are going to be able to take advantage of that. I think it's going to be a good mix of being long, but still being accurate. I don't know if you could spray it all over the place and have an advantage here. Listen to a couple of the guys that were involved with the course. You kind of heard a few different numbers on what could win. It does seem like it's going to be more of a birdie or a birdie fest. 16 to 20 under is kind of the middle ground. It's going to be a hot and humid week. Very little wind. Small chance of rain Saturday, and then it cools down a little bit Sunday. But Thursday, it's hot there now in the 90s. Thursday, Friday, Saturday will be hot. Won't have to worry about I don't think any rain, hurricanes, or anything like that. So we'll get 4 days of golf in. Be a smaller window because there's only 70 guys going out. As I mentioned, no cut event. I'm going to put the winner somewhere around 17, 18 under. It's kind of where I've built for the week. Some prior winners of this event on the premium member rankings, I've labeled the last 5 events, which was and how those guys finished. Some may matter, some may not. Obviously, little to go by when it goes to course fit, but or course history. We can do some course fit stuff. Olympia, Medina, Arnemy, Conway, Crooked Stick. John Rahm won this last year in a playoff over DJ with the big putt. JT beat Cantley 2 years ago. Keegan beat Rose. We had that winning ticket back in 2018. I think it was 100 and something to 1. 125 to 1 back in 2017-18. So that was a good ticket. Leishman, DJ won in 2016. Some runner-ups: Cantley, Fowler, Rose, Casey, Berger. So cream rises to the crop. It seems at this time you're 1 week away. You really want to position now more than ever. You want to position yourself to be as high up in the FedEx going into next week because you get extra strokes for it. Stats I'm looking at: great drives, which take certainly length, but obviously a little bit of the accuracy in as well. Ball striking in general, birdies are better. Par 5 DK scoring, proximity from 200 to 225. I think a lot of guys will have the par 3s around that number, and then you'll also have even if they're trying to get there in 2, you may have some of those numbers on the par 5s, and then scoring opportunities inside 18 feet is something else I'm looking at. Salary ranges: 10K, we have 7 guys, 9K, 8 guys, 8K, 10 guys, 7K, 19 guys, and 6K, 25 guys. So 69 guys in the field. Probably the question marks would be Usti. Is he healthy? Obviously, he's withdrew from the Wyndham and then missed last week. Didn't play either. Reed has officially withdrawn. That's why we're at 69. And then Morikawa, Thursday, I think it came out that he, was battling a little bit of a back injury from at the end of the Olympics, I believe. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. He played he didn't withdraw from Northern. He did miss a cut, didn't look as sharp. I'm not sure how great this course would fit him per se anyways. So I kind of wish he was just fine because he may garnish ownership. He was one of the highest owned last week and I didn't play him. We want to keep an eye on those two, would be the kind of concerns. We've had a lot of late withdrawals. So I definitely would set your alarm Thursday morning, 30 minutes before tee time, just in case something comes up, someone backs out for whatever reason. Reed did it last week with about 25 minutes left. So we want to keep an eye on that. Sweet 16, as usual, I'll give you 3 picks and a bubble boy in each salary range. Fade and sleeper I like. It's early. We'll see. Guptill plays. Top 5 that pop and 2 long shots provided by Monkey Knife Fight. A little bit on one and done. You kind of know where you are there, and then we'll wrap it up. For me on the 9K and above, I'm going to go Rory. Definitely had his ups and downs last week. Finished 43rd, got on a run there yesterday morning on the front nine, doubled his 10th hole, which would have been 1, and then kind of never really got it going back there, but tends to do well in the playoffs in general. We talked about it last week. 9,400 feels like a pretty good price. His last 3 years at the BMW, a 12th, a 19th, a 5th. He's 9th in the stat model for me, 7th in recent form. I think he's shown enough that at that price, I'm willing to, take some chances on him. Just a few things here or there. He's just off slightly, and I think he can put it all together and have a great week and potentially win. Certainly got my eye on the 25-1 number as well. Hovland, I'll go right back to Hovland at 9,100. Just a horrendous Monday. Had him in showdown. Was my pick, play of the day type deal. And I think it was hole 5. He starts out with a quad and, just kind of went downhill from there. Had another bogey, I think on 8. Then he slammed his putter into his bag, broke it. So he had to use a, 9-iron chip, something like that, the rest of the way to put in. Finished 43rd, but he was sitting right there going into Monday. So I'm not going to let that one bad sequence get me off of him. The course, the way I see it, I think suits well for him. So at 9,100, I like Hovland. Brooks at 10-2. Another one, just didn't have a good close, but, had a really low round, I think round 2, okay Saturday. And then you come into Sunday or Monday and you think he's got a chance to at least make a good run at a top 5. I think he was 5 back of the leaders, but I kind of looked at it as he was 2 back or 3 back of second place. So, at 10-2, he may not get looked at a ton. We'll kind of see. I think it's going to be like last week for sure. You're going to have so much spread out. There's only 70 guys to choose, and all these guys up here are splitting hairs. So early in the week, it's Tuesday, but early for me, I like Brooks. I think he'll be one of the lower owned. Could be a good leverage play. And then my bubble boy is Bryson. We've already seen a lot of people jump on the 30 to 35-1 betting odds. I don't hate that. Only reason on the bubble boy for me at 9,300, is a potential chalk. If he just becomes the play of the week, there's a lot of people around there. The 2 I just mentioned, obviously, Rory, Hovland, Cantley's 9,200, Berger's 9,000. It doesn't mean you can't play him and those, so that's definitely possible. But I just want to kind of see where things shake out on potential ownership. Is really why I have him as the bubble boy. He scores well on DK, even when he finished 31st last week. But we saw what was it, round 1? He had 16 either birdies or better or bogeys or worse, and had 2 pars, an 8th at the WGC. So his game's kind of shining. It looks like the course would fit him well. But you still got to be able to, the short game and putting is going to have to come into play. And that's looked a little off for him. But the price isn't so egregious where you're like, I need a win. Top 5 at 9,300 is good. So that's why I got him on the bubble. We'll see how owned he's going to be. 8K range, which will be kind of funny because the last several weeks he's been one of the lower guys that you could have took advantage of, but it may flip this week now. 8K range, Burns, still like him, played him last week, 21st last week. If he can hit fairways, the rest of his game I really like. He's 8th in birdie or better, 6th in par 5 DK, 16th in proximity from 200 to 225, 8th in bent green grass putting. A second at WGC, then a 21st yesterday. So I like Burns a lot at 8,300. I think he's a good play this week. Neiman made the cut, didn't do much with it. Don't think he'll garnish a lot of looks. Last 2 BMWs, he had a 31st and a 3rd. Bent putting, he's 13th. Stats, he's 17th. 13th in great drives, 15th in opportunities. All his stuff, he's in the top half or so or better. Not coming in with like tremendous form, but at 8,100, a guy that's sneaky long compared to what people would think, and where if you're hitting greens here, they're a little shorter, so I think around the greens does come into play some. We'll take a look at that in some of the deep dive stuff, but you know, I think at that price, I do like him. We don't have to worry about making a cut this week, although he's not one we have to worry about. But, you know, probably lower owned. That's one of the main reasons I'd like to take a look at him. Next up for me would be Scheffler. Can score with the best of them. We've talked about that, so I get 4 rounds of it. Fell off a little bit on the weekend. Stat-wise, though, he's still looking solid. You know, 11th in birdie or better, 11th in proximity, 22nd in ball striking, 26th in great drives, 20th last year at Olympia, which was a difficult track. Obviously, you know, I just think he's a guy that can definitely get hot, and I get 4 rounds of him in a birdie or better type event at 8,900. I certainly like his upside here. I think that's a good, you know, he can go into a good balance build or kind of be your second, third piece in some lineups, depending on how you're going. Especially if, you know, there's arguments to be made on these. The 9K is so strong. That's kind of want to see where you guys go there. That, you know, I'm wondering, you know, do guys drop down and try to fit in 2 or 3 of these? Rory, Hovland, Bryson, you know, Scheffler's going to be right there. Answer's been popular, you know, guys like that, and not have to dip as low. But I could easily see, because some of the low guys, quote unquote, because there's only 70, can still pay off and allow you to pay up for a Rahm, Xander type builds as well. Personally, I think the 9K may be a little more popular than the 5K range, 5-digit range outside of maybe Rahm. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of flushes out as we grind through tomorrow. My bubble boy is Matsu. No real reason. I could put him in there. Him or Scheffler could be flipped. They'll probably both be in an MME pool and potentially flirting with, you know, a core type play. He did okay last week, a 43rd, a miscut at Wyndham, obviously a second at WGC. Has played well at BMW in the past, 2/3, a 15th, a 47th, and a 24th. We know his putting is never going to be great, but he does love bent greens, especially if we hear like these are going to be a little bit on the quicker side. That's something we'll kind of listen for. That would boost Matsu for me some. He's just ball striking so well that if we're in an event like that, we don't have to worry about the cut. Birdie or better, par 5 scoring. I like all that with him and kind of the form he's coming in at. I don't mind him. You know, like I said, he's a bubble boy, but I easily could have flipped with him or Scheffler, in my opinion. 7K range. Vegas starts it out. Probably could be a little popular this week, especially if people are going with that deal. He's second on my stat model, though. So not just, he's 4th in great drive, 9th in ball striking, 5th in birdie or better, 5th in DK scoring. Missed the cut last week, so maybe a little good bounce back week. It'd be interesting to see or find out if any of these guys that missed the cut got the heck out of Dodge with that hurricane coming in and went over to this course a little early, especially knowing that it's a brand new course that some of these guys have probably never seen. So I don't know if we'll see any of that or hear any of that, or if that's all anecdotal, but something to think about. Your Kokrak, Vegas, DJ, Morikawa, although if he's hurting, I don't know if he would do that. If you get the premium rankings, you can just look at the Northern Trust column and see everybody that missed who's in here this week and kind of gauge that. Nothing I'm factoring in yet, but something to keep an eye on. He's 39th in bent, so that's not horrible. Stats are looking great. He's really coming in. He's top 10 in recent form for me. Just a really good price on him. I'll have some Vegas this week. Next, I just mentioned him, Kokrak. I'll go back to him again. A little worried on the back-to-back miscuts. I want to say I know he was 2. He had a bad Friday, late too. I think he went like double-double or triple-triple or something back-to-back. They just put him out of it. I want to say double-double because he was clear, looked like he was going to make the cut very easily. And then all of a sudden he went +4 over 2 holes. So, but I'm just, I'm not going to let that bother me. Stats, he's 5th for me overall, 8th in great drives, 19th in ball striking, 16th in birdie or better, 11th in par 5 scoring. The last 3 BMWs, I know that doesn't matter much, but still prime, clutch time, crunch time, a 6th, a 19th, a 19th. He's 2nd in bent green putting here. Shadow is a course that I use as part of the course fit where he won. So I like Kokrak a lot this week, $7,800. Hoffman, I think it was Shadow he won, but he played well over there if that wasn't the one he won. Hoffman is my last one. It really looked like he, was limping around through week, not physically, just, maybe not even make the cut. After Thursday, really turned it on and played well Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Finished 21st, 13th in the stat model for me, 19th in great drives, 8th in ball striking, 10th in birdie or better, 28th in par 5, 26th in proximity, and 14th in opportunities inside 18 feet. So across the board, he really looks well. He's been playing good. He went through a little dip there, and maybe we're getting him in great form. I liked him last week. I'll go right back to him. I think it's a great price at $7K. So I really like Charlie Hoffman a lot this week, 7,000. The next guy I like a lot too, and he'll definitely be in my pool, is McNeely. I always have to have a bubble boy, but 26th in stats overall. 27th last week. One of the better putters on tour, 17th in bent, 10th in great drives. Par 5 is probably one of his weaknesses. That's why I put him in the bubble boy. In his procs, he's one of the worst from 200 to 225. Outside of that, the rest of his stats he looks great in. So those are really the only two things that made me move him to bubble boy and keep Hoffman. But at the price, 7,000, you're getting 4 days of him. He can certainly score and get hot with a putter. I like McNeely as a bubble boy there. 6K range. I'm not too, there's some guys I like. I don't know if it's why it kind of makes me think the balance may be in play somewhat this week. But when you get 4 days of them, I know that becomes kind of a narrative. That's a factor as well. I'm going to go right back to Kazire. Started out very shaky. I remember I even got a couple DMs on that, like great pick or something like that. But ended up getting on a very hot streak, made the cut, played well. Then he kind of had like a Hovland yesterday. Struggled. I think he had a quad as well. Finished 56, but going into yesterday, he'd really played well Friday and Saturday, and even late Thursday, I believe. He's number 1 in bent putting. Stat-wise, he's number 1 in birdie or better. 23rd in par 5, 21st in great drives. It's 6,200. Those are 3 of the things I'm looking at the most. 3rd in opportunities inside 18 feet. I'll take some Kazire again. I'll keep riding that train. I've been on it for weeks now. I'm not getting off now. Mitchell, hell of a finish yesterday. Birdied the last 3 to get inside the number, the top 70. I'll go back to him. I'll ride that heater, ride that form. I like guys that finish great to end the tournament and take that momentum in, especially this time of year. 5th in great drives, 12th in par 5 scoring, 29th in birdie or better. He's a guy too I definitely like in a no-cut event because he has at times can get a big number out there and kind of push him out of the cut or have a bad run of holes, but he definitely can birdie and like you said, he's 12th in par 5, has the potential to eagle here. So I like Mitchell at 6,500. Sink, not a guy I thought if I woke up this morning and said a guy I'd be on, but we know he's strengthened his driver length. He's hitting the ball at the tee a lot better. He's 14th in great drives, 2nd in par 5 DK scoring, 6th in proximity, 9th in opportunities gained, 21st yesterday in the tournament. So he's kind of had really peaks this year, obviously won, and then kind of, fell back down. Maybe we're getting him up on an upturn here. 21st last week, 6,600 is a great price for him. We get 4 days of no matter what. So I like Stewie Sink if we're looking down here low. And the Bubble Boys Ortiz, he was in my play last week, made the cut, 47th. Nothing great, but, he's still alive. He's there. 16th in the stat model for me. Another one that's, good off the tee. 12th in great drives. It kind of surprised me a little bit. 19th in par 5 scoring. Again, just these guys if you're trying to maybe go a little different with the stars and scrubs or, the hybrid's something that I think some people don't necessarily think of. Like they go to this balance build to get more of the 7 and 8s, but I think you could still pluck a nice 6. Say you start with 3 9K guys, or maybe 2 9K and like a Scheffler or an Answer, a high 8K, and then a 6K. It kind of opens up a little bit different build for you. So I like Ortiz, and those 4 I really like in the 6K range. And then after that, it kind of, I have 2 more that I have in the Guptill plays coming up. And then my sleeper of the week is also 6K. Probably sprinkle those, maybe a few more. And then outside of that, I'll probably just kind of stick with that kind of pool down there in the 6K range this week. Obviously I'll wait till the deep dive and all that kind of stuff to see how we look there. Fade of the week for me will be Morikawa. I don't know how popular he's going to be with the worrisome on the back and all that. We'll see I hope his pressure's great and everybody loves him and people jump on him. He's the cheapest 10K guy. Normally popular, right? So he's one of the top 3 or 4 owned last week. We'll see. I guess if he comes in super low because of the injury type deal and how he performed last week, maybe he's a switch by the time we get to tomorrow night. But I don't think the course would suit him as well as some of the others around there. And I just like that 9K range so much that I would drop off of Morikawa. I mean, there's others, Usti's a guy that I'm not sure, same deal injury wise. What's he look like? That could be a fade. My sleeper of the week is going to be, and again, because I'm not really going by percentages here, just guys that I think I don't want any part of. And then a sleeper is a guy that kind of sticks out to me that maybe no one goes to is Ryan Palmer, 6,400. Nothing great. He missed a cut last week. He did finish 26th at the WGC, but at an event where you get 4 rounds of him at that price, he's 16th in great drives, 10th in proximity, 10th in putting, bent green putting. We know he can get hot and get birdies and bunches. Not too much water around here. He's known to kind of get in the water sometimes, but he's a guy that I could have some nibbles of. I don't think he'll be talked about much. Probably be, way less than 5%, maybe in that 2 to 4% range. So we'll keep an eye on him as we get through the deep dive information as well. Got 4 gut fill plays again this week for you. Answer 8,700. I think we may get some leverage on him. If the narrative of long off the tee bombers, that he is not that. We know that, but I think he can still score well. He's number 1 in recent form coming in. Course fit, he's 14th, and bent putting, he's 3rd. So I know he's not going to pop in some models with all those, what everybody's looking at, but he may come in lower than we've been seeing him. And so he's a guy I want to keep an eye on. Aaron Wise, 6,300, a good week last week. Had some nibbles of him in the large MME stuff. He can drive it out there. He's good enough. He's got a 46th and a 21st coming in, 12th in birdie or better, 20th in par 5 DK scoring. He's a guy I like when we got a no cut event because he's a guy I've had many times I miss a cut on the number by 1. Had him in some tournaments where he's there on Sunday and he makes a big number, but he made all the birdies as well. So, he's a guy I got my eye on. Cam Davis, I mean, that goes without saying. He probably will be, up the ladder by the time we get to tomorrow night. But you give me Cam Davis at any event where you're guaranteed 4 rounds with him and where par 5 and length's going to matter, I'm going to play him. So I'll have some Cam Davis. And the next guy's the same way, Champ. I think Champ, because of his price, he may not be as popular as he's been down in the 6s at times. Like, all right, I'll take a chance on him. He won. I think he was in the 6s at 3M Open. Because of his history before the 3M Open, like he's not going to pop in models. He's 49th out of 69th for me right now, because he was on such a horrendous run going into that 3M Open. But since then, he won a 31st and a 27th. So if you look at really, really recent form, and we'll probably see that on the deep dive, I bet he moves up. And so I like Cam Champ 7,300. Top 5 the pop in 2 long shots by Monkey Knife Fight. Working with them now to see what kind of NFL promos we're going to have. Right now, use the code GUPS, GUPS. 100% match up to $50 on your first deposit. Go to monkeyknifefight.com and use that code, or go to gupscorner.com/affiliates and click the link there and use the code GUPS. Top 5 the pop for me, Bryson, 25 to 30 is where I see it. It's probably going to move if you want to get on it. I hadn't made that decision yet. Brooks, 25, right there going into Monday. Not going to let that bother me too much. Hovland, same thing, 33. Matsu 40 is a good number to me, and Burns 50 is a good number. You got a lot of guys in this 25 to 33 range, so I'm kind of waiting to see how the drifting goes here today to see if any of these guys, you're splitting hairs when you're talking about. We got Bryson, DJ, Rory, Spieth, Brooks, Cantley, Cam Smith, all 25 to 1, 33 to 1. You got Hovland, Berger, Usti, Scheffler. So all these guys are so close. Even 20 to 1, you got Xander and then Morikawa. I want to see who drifts, because if I get someone that can drift that's currently in the 20s to the 30s or 30 to 40, they're all so close that I don't mind taking it. I will lock in some a little bit later on this afternoon, but right now I have not made an official bet. Long shots I like. I don't know if I'll probably maybe put a little sprinkle on them, but these will be more of those top 5 type things. Vegas 150 to 1, McNeely 150 to 1, and then Kazire 250 to 1. I like those as potential each way top 5 type bets this week. One and done. If you're still alive, God bless you. You've done a great season. I was bubbling. I hadn't checked the update to see if I squeaked enough to get in this week to have some life. I may be min cash at best, but if you're up there, you only got 2 tournaments left. So you pretty much got to figure out who you're going to play this week and next week and narrow it down there. And then also I'd always look at, if you got the tools on whichever site you're going to, that how much those guys have been owned, and try to plan it for the next 2 weeks as well. If you're stuck between guys, certainly message me, DM me. I'll give you my opinion, since I don't have a whole lot of sweat going on. I don't know about E9 with such a tight window and schedule. My main focus is going to be getting all the content out and all that. Certainly be live tomorrow night to answer questions and all that. Try doing E9. Obviously, we're kind of morphing into football season, so golf slack kind of quiets down a little bit. Everybody's doing best ball, season draft, getting all that going, which I certainly understand. I enjoy the E9, so you guys let me know if I can try to squeeze one in tomorrow for sure if there's some interest. If not, we'll kind of. I'll see what Kenny's doing. If Kenny get on, I always get on with him. It's a good time talking with him as well. So I'll update you guys on that in the Slack later on today or tomorrow as we grind to this content. Hope you guys have a great week. It's going to be fun getting this nailed down. We got college football back Saturday. Excited for the Green Machine optimizer for that. Excited for the best in the industry and Bobby Berger covering it. We have the best Slack for over in the GC Warrior Room for the college football, as well as many other sports. Our GC Warrior Room is just phenomenal. So many great guys in there, and smart, intelligent people, a lot of people with contacts that help out on some of those key sports like that. As I mentioned, use the code NFL, get 25% off. Come give us a try. I believe everybody's going to thoroughly enjoy all of the tools we're adding. The big upgrade to the Green Machine, which is like our 5th upgrade. We're constantly improving that for you guys. Is going to be awesome. You're going to love it for NFL and college football this fall. Hit me up on Slack or DM me on Twitter if you're a current member and you want to take advantage before prices go up after we kick off the NFL season. I'll be back later. Probably try to do a cup with Gup after the deep dive, or maybe do it in the morning. I'm just going to roll with it. I'm kind of fired up about this tournament. I got some good angles. I think we got a good chance to have a good week, take advantage of some of the narratives out there. And we'll be back for sure tomorrow to go full in on another cup, on a cup with Gup. I'll kind of do all my updating and see where I'm at, just like I normally do on Wednesday. Have a great day. Have a blessed day, and I will see you later. Thanks.